a whole raft of events that take place during this week to commemorate the bicentenary of the Peterloo Massacre and the brutal killing of 17 people and hundreds of injuries inflicted on a crowd of between 50 to 60,000 people 200 years ago, of what we would nowadays call pro-democracy campaigners. I said 17 rather than the 18 that's figured in most of the things about 18 killed, because one of the people concerned was actually one of their own side who was trampled by his own people. It's obviously a great honour to be here and following the footsteps of like people like Henry Hunt and others who've were arrested and assembled there on the day to demand universal suffrage, secret ballots and equal constituency sizes, and not least the repeal of legislation decided by the few, such as the infamous Corn Laws, which resulted in inflated bread prices and severe hardship to many, not too dissimilar from the austerity being imposed on us today. Now, before we go through our speakers, and I'm glad we're almost like starting this event afresh. We're here today to not only respectfully remember those killed, but to also explain the relevance of Peterloo and to begin to discuss proposals concerning democratic reform in the future, because it's clear that the original demands of the Peterloo marches were insufficient to bring the type of reforms and changes in society in the interest of the many rather than the few, because in less than a few weeks' time we will have almost the same. We've got 200 years later, we've got virtually the same party in power as we had 200 years ago, and in a few weeks' time we're going to meet basically over where the people were killed in Peterloo 200 years ago. You know, obviously I would say most people who marched at Peterloo were probably disappointed and they look forward to see that happening. Now, before we carry on, I'm going to read out the names of the people killed, and I'm going to ask for a minute's silence before we bring on some more speakers. So I'm going to read out the names actually in the newspaper that's been provided for the Word. There's 17 of them. The first is John Ashton from Chadderton near Oldham, who was sabred and trampled on by the crowd. He carried a black flag, the black flag of Saddleworth, Leeds and Mosley Union, inscribed "Taxation without representation is unjust and tyrannical, no Corn Laws." The inquest returned a verdict of accidental death. His son received 20 shillings in release. We also have John Ashworth from the Bull's Head in Manchester, sabred and trampled. He's the special constable who was attacked unintentionally by his own side. William Bradshaw from Bury, who suffered a sabre cut to his head and was trampled by yeomanry. Thomas Buckley from Chadderton near Oldham, who was sabred and stabbed by a bayonet. Robert Campbell from Salford, who was killed by a mob in Newton Lane. Campbell was another special constable, I didn't know that one. James Crompton from Barton upon Irwell, trampled by the cavalry. Edmund Dawson, maybe a relative of Jeff's, from Saddleworth, died of sabre wounds in the head on the field. He was in possession of a pole carrying a cap of liberty. He died in Manchester Royal Infirmary soon after. William Dawson from Saddleworth, who was sabred and crushed and killed on the spot. Margaret Downs from Manchester was sabred. William Evans from Hume, where I've just been marched from, was trampled by cavalry. Evans was another special constable, that's 3 on their side. William Files, ridden over by cavalry. Mary Hayes from Oxford Road, Manchester, who was ridden over by cavalry. Sarah Jones from Salford, beaten on the head by a special constable, truncheons on the field. John Lees, who was sabred, who had actually served as an ex-soldier and fought in the Battle of Waterloo. Arthur Neal from Manchester was beaten on the field by constables, truncheons and trampled by the crowd. Martha Partington from Eccles, who was thrown into a cellar in Bridge Street by the pressure of a crowd and died on the spot. Her husband relieved £5 in relief. And John Rhodes from Hopwood near Rochdale, who was sabre wounded to the head by which he lost much blood and eventually died. Joseph Whitworth from Stockport, who was killed by a musket ball in the head in Ancourt Street. I'd like us now, if you can all take 1 minute's silence in memory of those who were killed, and obviously the many injured and even ones jailed for attending that event. So if I can ask you to be silent now. Everybody, can we be quiet? Minutes silence for those killed at Peterloo Massacre.